It's a difficult process to put into words. You coming here, maybe knowing a little bit about Bamberton and seeing this structure, or all these structures that you see, and that's kind of our method of production. And just can't stress enough the fact that we're really not trying to illustrate the story.
That's a big part of the process that we've started to use with this installation, the Ore Gallery and the Vancouver Art Gallery before us, that we don't have a plan for this. We don't do drawings for it. It's like, surprising, hey, Richard? We just build. I mean, Nate knows how to build things so they're not going to fall down. Dad knows how to build things so that they're going to be more or less safe. And I'm the one who messes up and they got to fix things.
Got a really great idea. It's not going to work, but it's a great idea.
but what, like Nate said, it's like a bit like a drawing. And since we don't draw the plan out ahead, it allows us to move at any point within the construction of this. And I think if you want to liken that to the process of, or look at that as opposed to the process of the development that was proposed at Bamberton, or any development of that scale, you must have a concept, you must have an illustration of it, and you must be able to do it so that it can sell, or it can be marketed, or it can be produced quickly and efficiently. The problem with that is that what you've done is all the creative work is at the beginning. You come up with ideas, you come up with how it's supposed to look, you come up with all this stuff. And then the next, as I said, the Bamberton proposal was supposed to take place over 25 years or something. Then it's 25 years of illustration of that concept, and that's dead boring. You end up with the same thing for 25 years. If you look at a city that's really interesting, like some parts of downtown Victoria, or I don't know, some parts of New York, or places where things have changed over the last 100 years or whatever, according to some guy who's got some money and he wants to build a building and he hires some wacko architect to design it, and then it sits there for 100 years or 200 years, and you're like, that's crazy. But that wouldn't happen in Bamberton. It was all laid out according to a plan. So what we're trying to do as a way of working with this is to throw away the plan and create it as you're building, so that the buildings actually become an illustration, or not an illustration, they actually become a process of thinking, if that makes any sense. Not really.
Sounds a lot more fun, anyways.
It is. This is the exciting part. I mean, the pre-planning that does go into something like this is we try and pre-build as many structures as possible, or as many parts of structures as possible. Those silos that are out front there were pre-built at our grandma's property up in Cowichan Bay. She was nice enough to lend us a chunk of her property that we built I guess you could call it a studio.
Yeah, it's the one that's on the poster.
It's the one that's on the poster. That's where a lot of this was pre-built. So we'll build various structures and then take them apart so that hopefully they're relatively easy to move. You can ask the guys from Integral if they're easy to move. We got everything in here in one day, so that was good. But so we try and build as much stuff as we can ahead of time, but they basically become building blocks. It's not a pre-built installation. They're building blocks that we can use within the space that will hopefully, the creative process comes out in the space. The majority of the creative process happens here, and that's where it's really exciting. It's nervous, it's nerve-wracking at times because you show up not knowing what you're going to do, and we've had some really great luck with curators that have that have given us, basically free reign, and we show up with piles of wood, and we say, don't worry, you'll have something in 3 weeks. And we've been, so far so good. Thank you. I think that's about all, unless you've got anything else. Nothing else to add?
We should probably say a bit about the silos. The silos can be
Oh, yes, I'm sorry.
entered from the back behind these bleachers. Take care in the ladder. In the first one going down the ladder is a selection from an archive, a 15-year-old archive or so, that my mom had kept from the time when they were fighting the development. It's worth a read. You spend some time in there. There's a selection of stuff, and thanks to Dorothy as well for helping wallpaper the other day. So make sure you go through the silos. If you want to know about the table, it's kind of a counterpart to the worker. A lot of this involves labor. The front element is sort of we took it from like a factory control station you'd have on a piece of equipment or something. This is the boardroom, and the table is made from our offcuts from the project in Cowichan Bay, so it's waste material that we managed to reuse. It was an epic project.
It's waste material from the waste material. The majority of everything that you're sitting on has already been wasted and reclaimed. And then this is the waste from the waste. So this is the waste from the waste we've tried to give, really fresh life to make, to finish something as clean as possible. And so this is our boardroom that we've got here, and feel free to go in there. Please don't bring any drinks in there.
Especially the red wine. That's just in Canada.
Good. So, thanks everybody.
Can I just make a presentation?
Sure.
I'm the head of the Bamberton Historical Society, so I'm seeing Bamberton from the before days. And I'd just like to present you with one of our DVDs of the history. And
All right.
Thank you guys so much for bringing it all back to life again.
So if anybody has any questions, I think we've got some time to field some of them.
It's a focus point. I think it's a position that you can occupy or not, as you feel free. It's intimidating to be up there,
Unless
and
you're
to be
Helen.
underneath it, unless you're Helen. What a lot of the work focuses around is like ideas around spectatorship and looking and receiving a look, and the positions of power you can take by occupying different levels, especially a vertical thing. As soon as you stand above someone, you have some kind of power. This is a little bit strange, though, because it's so exposed. So we wanted to kind of make an incredibly powerful position. If you stand there, then everyone's looking at you. At the same time, though, when you stand up there, it's very vulnerable. So that's the kind of that's a sort of double movement architecturally. Like as you're above someone, you can talk down to them, but when you're up there, you're also exposed. So
It really depends on who you are. Going up into that focal point, it's almost dead center in the gallery. If you're a person that's strong-willed, that really enjoys attention, that likes to have the stand, have the podium, so to speak, chances are you're going to like being up there. If you're somebody that's a little bit more reserved, that doesn't necessarily like to be the center of attention, chances are you might feel like you're on trial.
we also wanted to allow people to maybe figure out, like, is that a spot for a developer? Is that where the developer sits? Or who holds power in these issues around development? Is it somebody who just decides that they're the one to stand up there? Or what? Like, where does that come from? And hopefully by occupying that position, or thinking about occupying it, you can make your own feelings about that.